And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Zija International's Biz Talks. My name is Amy McKenzie, and it is a true privilege to be hosting this episode of Biz Talks this evening. Generally, this is hosted by Triple Diamond executive Fred Holmes, one of our top leaders. I have the distinct pleasure, while he is away on an undisclosed island somewhere in the Pacific, to actually get to interview him so that you all can hear his story tonight. Before we jump into that, though, I want to take a moment to welcome all of you who have joined us. Now, I see we have quite a few leaders from the field. Thank you for taking the time to be with us and plug into our system. I also notice we've got quite a few new people that are starting their business, rank advancing, caught up in the excitement of our summer summit coming up on Saturday. We'll talk more about that in a bit. But really tonight is for the guests. I want to welcome you tonight especially. Now, maybe it was a friend, a colleague, someone you trust that said, you know what, I'm really excited about what I'm doing and I want to share it with you in case it's something of interest. This is for you. We're going to cover a few things that I've learned professionals, when they're looking at a company, consider before making their decision. And then we'll hear from a master of the business. And those three areas are, number one, leadership, which if you think of this as a ship, you don't want a captain who hasn't sailed across the ocean before. You want someone with experience. We have that in spades with our founder. Number two is the product. That's like the vessel. It's sturdy. It's got to work day in, day out, right? You got to be able to rely on it and know that it has integrity. That definitely speaks to our products. And finally, timing, right? You don't want to leave in a storm. You want to make sure the timing is just right. And we'll talk about that as well. So let's dig in. First of all, leadership. Ken Brailsford could literally take up this entire episode. There is so much to say about our founder. He literally is an icon in the health and wellness industry. Why? He was the first one to consider the idea of putting herbs in a capsule. He is the father of herbal encapsulation. It's a huge gift to us in the wellness community. But more than that, he's also an icon in this industry. In fact, he has truly the best reputation, I would venture to say, of anyone, because he's the only person in all these decades that has actually accomplished two multi-billion-dollar companies, still running today, over 20 years, and now Zija is his third company. In fact, he came out of retirement to bring Zija to the world, not because he needed to, but because he learned that moringa, for all the wonderful products he'd made in his career, could do more good for mankind than everything he'd ever created combined. And so he felt spiritually prompted to come out of retirement and bring this to the world. Well, we know this captain knows how to take care of our ship. We are destined to be a multi-generational, multi-billion-dollar company. You are in good hands. Secondly, the products. We have 4 product divisions. We have 100 plant-based products. Yes, our flagship is Moringa, our core nutrition, and it's stunning. But there is incredible opportunity. Whether it's essential oils that you're interested in, hey, we have the only clinical grade. That's a big deal. How about sports fitness? An all-natural line that actually works. Our athletes love it. And we're talking NFL, WMA, down the line, Olympic athletes. Everyone gets results that they're looking for without putting chemicals in their body. All right. We also have an incredible skincare line. We have personal care items that are better than anything I've ever used. Honestly, I've never seen people get excited about toothpaste. You can literally transfer by from yourself, building your business at the same time, and have wonderful products. Anything that touches your body inside and out is good for you. And now we even have the N-Tune CBD Square, a 24-hour CBD patch that has stunning results and taking this company to the next level. So the products are in spades, and we'll tell you how you can learn more about that as well. Moving on to the third ingredient, timing. Now, you've got some options when you're looking at companies. You could go for security, go with a company that's been around a really long time. That's, got some wisdom to it. Problem is, it's past that momentum, that magic stage before it becomes a household name and everyone already knows about it. So that's not when typically you see huge jumps in success. Or you could startup companies are exciting. There's something, kind of tantalizing about something that's just getting going, but there's no security. We know what happens, right? It's a big risk. Right now, with Zija International, we are in that sweet spot where we have a vertically integrated company that's debt-free. We look like we're 40 at 13 years old. Everything's in place. And yet, not everyone knows about us yet. We're not a household name yet. Ken built wisely. He built a huge foundation and built slowly because he wasn't interested in anything except a multi-generational company. So right now we're at this moment where you can jump in and have all the foundation laid for you before the masses. So all three ingredients in place, this ship is going to definitely make it across the ocean and land. And the person who can best describe what it takes to do that is Fred Holmes. Now, I just want to mention a little something before I bring you over here, Fred. We're going to bring you to the other side so people can hear your story. Fred is a mentor to many, many people, and there's a good reason for it. Not only is he a consummate professional, but he leads with heart. When you learn about the different things that he's doing in his life, which he won't tell you, but I happen to know what a charitable human being he is, it changes the picture. Fred, you are one of those people that continuously inspires us. I'm so excited to have you with us from your undisclosed island in Hawaii, still giving of your time, even when it's your own. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, I'm not hearing you. Hang on. Might have to unmute.
There we go. How's that?
That's much better. Thank you, sir.
Amy, I got so excited about the meeting coming up. I showered, I shaved, got my best beads on.
We're thrilled.
Very exciting to be on this side of the webinar. Amy, you did such a great job. Really, I love the analogy. You know, the company has to be run by the right captain, Ken Brailsford. The products or the vessel, you need something that's solid, something that's going to go through all different kinds of weather. And then the timing, that was a great analogy. You don't want to leave in a storm. How do you think of these things? Now I know why everybody wants you to be the host of Biz Talks instead of me. Listen, if you don't mind, I got to do this for everybody. You need to see the view that I'm experiencing right now.
Well, we're going to have to give you a full view there.
There you go.
Oh, it's beautiful.
There, it's coming into focus. This is what I stare at, and for those of you that I've been doing connection calls and that sort of thing with since I've been on the remote island, or the remote, there's one of the young fellows keeps the place looking nice. This is what I was looking at when I was doing those connection calls here this past week.
That's terrific. Well, Fred, we're all a little envious, but that's a good thing because it's a motivator to keep on going so we can accomplish our dreams. And that certainly fits my bucket list. One thing I'm really excited about having you is your story to me is, it's kind of the perfect story, right? Because it's not that person that everybody expected to go to the top. And you really demonstrate the difference between people who try, oh, I'm going to try and do this, and people who actually just do it. If you would please share your story with us.
Thank you, Amy. It's been 34 years ago now. I know it's kind of entertaining watching me do math in my head, huh? It's been about 34 years, I think, since I first got involved in this industry. My story, I was a cross-country truck driver. I'd done that for several years. I was a much younger man. I loved driving trucks, but I was highly motivated to make a change when my older boy hit school age. He was a special needs child. There was going to be a lot of expenses to create the educational resources that he needed, but also he needed to have my time. I needed to be with him during those formative years. And, back in the mid 80s, nobody was offering cross-country truck drivers, six-figure jobs with a flexible schedule. Go figure, right? But what I did find was this industry of network marketing. And it just made so much sense to me to have, products that I would personally consume. Some of my friends might want to consume them as well. I could sell it to my friends. Some of them would like to make some money like me, and so I could sign up those folks and help them learn how to sell the products. And it just made so much sense to me. What I did is I jumped in with both feet because I was highly motivated to be able to do what I needed to do for my son. I purchased the biggest package that company had. It took 3 credit cards for me to do it. I was not in the best financial shape. But the real key is I followed to the letter the things that my sponsor was telling me when I got going. And I was working with $1 million earner. That was a big plus to do it just the way the professionals do. And literally within 2 years, I'd been able to create, an income that surpassed being a truck driver, develop some time freedom. I was able to move on to a second company that had better timing. I remember you talking about the timing thing. That second company, I got in right ahead of the major growth curve, and I retired after 10 years. And that has been an incredible change in my life. We were talking about this about a week ago. If you think about it, as a young man, like a lot of young guys, I dreamed of driving, fast cars and, vacationing on tropical islands and, a young man's dreams, right? And today, all of those things that I thought were important, I've been able to do, but all the things that have been much more important, I've been able to do. I was able to take care of my son. He's done extremely well. Jeremy. He's become very successful in his life. And that was the boy the school district didn't think was going to make it. I was able to be a stay-at-home grandpa and raise my first grandson. And about 10, 11 years ago, I was able to move home and care for my mom. And today, she's 93 years old. We have, we deal with dementia issues. So this business of Zija has allowed me to be able to work from home, have an international business. And then when I get my little, occasional breaks, my sister fills in for me. Thank you, Faith. Appreciate that. She's camping out with Mom, and the two gals that help me, they're all, put their deal together so that I can get away for a couple of weeks at a time. And here I'm in this place that, most people dream about going to, and this is where I hang out. So, my story, the interesting thing, Amy, and this is part of the conversation. Most people have dreams at one point in their life, or another. Most people only dream about it. And to me, if people just understood that there are ways to create the life that you really want, not the one that you have to leave, why wouldn't you do these kinds of things? I mean, it just escapes me why people wouldn't do it.
Yeah, well said. And that kind of moves me on to the next point I'd love for you to cover a little bit. I came in and quite frankly, consider myself extremely fortunate that I landed in this company. Zija is my first company. And I've had a lot of people get almost mad at me when they find that out. They talk about those 7, 8 companies before they found their home. And I know that you had the advantage of knowing what to look for. And I, kind of covered that a little bit in the opening, but I think it'd be really meaningful for people to know that are looking at this, why you, someone with your tenure, I mean, you were on the cover of Success magazine when you came into this company under our master distributor. He was very grateful to have you as a result of your tenure. Why did someone with your background, how did you know to choose Zija? Well, we know how you knew, experience, but why? Why did you choose this company when it wasn't yet the timing?
It's interesting that you're asking that, because I was just talking with another fellow that I've known for many, many years. I mean, we're talking 20 plus 25 years, maybe even 30 years now. Met him in my second company, and his question was, so what are you doing these days? Like, what's the new company I'm in? I said, I'm still with Zija. Now you have to understand, this fellow, he's $1 million earner, but he's been with 4 companies since I've been with Zija. 4 different companies. And I guess a lot of people just didn't get it. When I was introduced to Zija, it was one of, probably a couple of 100 companies that folks had called me on over a period of several years from the time I'd retired from the last company. And every time I just listened, because there wasn't anything I was interested in. It was kind of, done multi-level already, don't need to go do it again. I was doing fine. I'm not saying I was rich, but I didn't have to work and I could do whatever I wanted. I mean, I call that rich, right?
You call that fine.
Yeah, and so for me, I set the bar kind of high. I figured if I am ever going to get back in, I want it to be something incredibly unique and special. And so the things that you discussed, that's what I was looking for. I first and foremost, every single company I was exposed to, I wanted to know who runs the company, because the character of the kingdom emanates from the king. And that's been one of my challenges in network marketing, is that not all the company leadership shares the same, philosophy, has the same moral compass that I have. And I wanted to be part of something I could be proud to represent. And Ken Brailsford, that's the guy. Just what you said. I mean, when I was actually being introduced to Zija, fellow was going, telling me all about, the green drink, and we're all going to get rich, and, you got to take a look, blah, 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 blah. And then he mentioned Ken Brailsford. And that was the only thing I'd heard up to that point in time. I said, back up, start again. Because if Ken Brailsford's getting involved in a new project, that's got to be something that a guy like me would want to hear about. Now, I also had to, I know enough to know that your product is the key. Okay? If you don't have a product that people will use, they'll use it on a daily basis, they'll reorder it on a monthly basis, and most importantly, it has to be because of the product, not because of the opportunity. If you've got a product that's that meaningful to people, they're going to continue to use it over and over again. That's what creates that foundation of consumers. And that's ultimately what a real business is about. So often, multi-level businesses are simply a short-lived opportunity to get in before the masses. The product is kind of like an excuse for an income opportunity. Our products have stood the test of time. I know your story. You've had incredible physical benefits from the products. I use our products every day. There are thousands of people that are using these products every day, and we become the story. I've lost over 35 pounds since I've been on Zija products. I'm in the best shape of my life. The fellow, by the way, I just mentioned, I'm not going to use his name because he's in his 4th multi-level company and he's struggling again. Who knows how long that one's going to last. But he made the comment that when I told him I just finished celebrating the 26th anniversary of my 39th birthday, and then he did the math. He goes, "Oh my God, Fred, you're doing great. I thought you were my age." He's like 12, 13 years younger than me. And honestly, he doesn't look as good as me. But, those ingredients, the timing, I'll tell you, and it's interesting that you said that, because I was just thinking as you were doing the introduction, timing really is everything. If you can get those first 2 things in place, company leadership, products, timing is everything. And that was not an advantage for Zija when I started. They'd been in business, I think, like 2.5 years. We had 1 product. Okay, we had a corporate team, the operations people that had never really done this before. We've got Ken as the master. He's the one that finances and sees the long term, but you got to have day-to-day operations. And it was not easy. Okay, and frankly, it was a challenge to make that decision to get involved because of the timing. Here's something that you're going to be real interested in. The first company I joined, which was my training ground, I started in the middle of their worst storm. They've been in business 5 years. The following 7 years were disastrous for that company. It took that long. It took 12 years for their management team to grow up and figure out how to run the company. Okay. Now, that company today is over 35 years old. It did $4 billion in sales last year. Had I had 7 years to grow with that company, I'd be with that company, right? And retired a long time ago, right? The second company I joined, they had more maturity. They were 17 years in business, and I got in before their first major growth curve. 17 years. See, this is interesting that most people believe that getting in at the beginning of one of these deals is the right thing to do. Well, if you're looking for a deal, there's lots of deals out there, okay? If you're looking for a business that has the right foundation, right products, right leadership, a true opportunity to create long-term residual income, then you got to look beyond the flash. You got to look at the facts. And here we are, Zija, you just said it, 13 years. This is the time we've been waiting for. I'm excited for you, Amy. You got started at a time with Zija where we were in that growth and development stage, you know, and you've made a lot of money. A lot of us have made some money. But today, with what we've got, the Intune patches, that's the trick. That's the deal. We've got a product line that we've built a billion-dollar company. We've done over $1 billion in sales. But we could literally duplicate that in the next like 36 months with the addition of that one product. Timing is everything.
Yeah, no question about it. It is so effective that it's really a door opener to all the incredible products that we have because it's incredibly fast acting for people. And of course, it's a pretty hot topic right now. Talk to us just a little bit about that, if you would, why, you know, how we fit into the CBDs, and in my opinion, why we will not be duplicated no matter how many patches people come up with.
You know, it's what you're talking about has always been the edge of Zija. Okay, it's always been our leading edge. We bring to market products that already meet recognized needs. People are aware that they are in need of our kinds of products. I mean, in less than the last couple of years, everything you see advertised on TV is talking about being green and clean and no artificial ingredients and no GMOs and no this and no that. We were the first people to bring Moringa oleifera to the market, to the average consumer. It had been studied by Big Pharma for 60 years. Nobody had ever heard about it. And when we brought it to market, we were the #1 company in the world growing, harvesting, importing, and developing Moringa oleifera-based products. Mm-hmm. And we got an incredibly loyal consumer base because of the results people got in the product. Creating that in our own, you know, NSF-certified pharmaceutical-grade manufacturing facility, we bring the science to the multi-level industry. Now, fast forward 10 years, what was the biggest buzz last year? Moringa oleifera. Dr. Oz was talking about it. Everybody was talking about Moringa oleifera, superfood for 2018. Yeah, we had that 10 years ago. Now, in the last 10 years, there are a lot of people that have brought, you know, some kind of Moringa product to the market. Today, we still have #1 position. Better than 90% of the Moringa oleifera market is Zija. Now, we've just taken that same commitment to science, commitment to, you know, cutting edge products and brought it to CBD. Now, today, just since the first year, there's like zillions of little companies out there starting up. We market CBD product. We got gummies and we got vape pens and we've got this, that, and the other thing, you know, cookies. You know, any possible way you can get it. And they're starting up and there's no regulation on it. We started working on our CBD product 2 years ago. Some of the finest scientific minds in food formulation, natural product formulation, in conjunction with our own manufacturing facilities, we did something that nobody's doing. We're the only mainstream company that produces a transdermal patch. You look at what's out there in the marketplace. Most CBD oils, and I'm not saying they're all like this. There are some companies that have some pretty good CBD oil, but the use of that, to be able to do it as simple as having a 24-hour time release, full spectrum CBD oil, and to know that it's organic, to know that it's been tested, to know that there's no question about dosing, and to have the convenience. It's like comparing, you know, our CBD product, call it a Formula One race car. Everything else out there is a 73 Yugo. You know, are they similar? Well, they're both cars, they got engines and 4 wheels, but there's really no comparison. It's why so many people that have been using CBD oil products were excited to hear about our product, that you could just slap the patch on, leave it for 24 hours and switch it out the next day, and you had all of the benefits without having to think about it. Add to that the purity and the documentation that we provide. I think you mentioned this, so you can actually take the lot number from any one of our products that we have, put it on the website, and you can see the testing that was done to verify the purity and the efficacy of that particular product. Who else is doing that? I mean, even the pharmaceutical drugs aren't giving you their testing of what they're expecting you to pay, you know, thousands of dollars for, right?
Yeah, it's really something. My new motto is peel it and stick it.
I like that. I like that. That's good.
And it works. Yeah, well, thank you for that, because I think it's really meaningful to help people understand when you have something that's this effective, that works this well, it opens the door for people to understand, I'll bet their other products are that good too. And they really are. And I don't know that anyone's going to be able to combine our clinical grade essential oils in with our powder and oil delivery system for, even if they come up with a patch that lasts half as long or even as long, they won't have this formulation. And that's what's really magic about it.
I'm getting a little distracted watching these white birds just blowing by here. So.
It's beautiful. And speaking of which, I've taken enough of your time, I'm sure. I'm so grateful to you for, you know, including us in your vacation and your magical lanai, some undisclosed island.
Well, the mystery's half the fun, but Amy, I always have fun, and I appreciate everything you're doing for your team and Zija International. You've really become part of the fabric of Zija. Everybody knows Amy McKenzie and your story. And just to be able to share the webinar with you, I thank you so much, Amy. It's been a great pleasure.
Well, thank you, Fred. It's an honor to work with you. I'm going to go ahead and send you back over to the other side so you can go back to the beach and enjoy yourself. Give me 1 second here, and we'll send you back. But we're sure grateful that you spent the time with us.
Thank you, Amy.
Yep, thank you so much, Fred. And a little technical difficulty. There we go. Thanks much. All right, everyone. So that was a wonderful opportunity to hear from someone who, you know, was just a regular Joe, right? This isn't someone who had a background in this business. He had a desire to help his son. And he didn't let anything stop him. He followed a simple system, learned how to do it, learned how to teach it to other people, and never quit. That's the magic, right? And when you think about it, that means that's true for all of us. Any one of us that wants to do this can do it at any level we want to. Come in, be a customer, become a product of the product. You're going to find you start sharing something you love. Happens organically, naturally. Or you can do like Fred did. In fact, it's what I did, because I also wanted to put my daughter through college. You can come in with the biggest package and hit it hard. Any way you want to do this, there's room for everyone at whatever level you want to play with us. Just know you'll have the leadership. You've got the products. Now you have the timing. And we always have a team, an incredible team to support and help you. Here's a couple of ways we do that. Every Wednesday night, Pat Anderson, #1 woman worldwide, heart of gold. She takes time out of her busy schedule every week on Wednesdays, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern. Go to Club Moringa, that's the name of our plant, Moringa, clubmoringa.com, and just hit join. And you will hear her interviewing doctors, scientists, talking about new products, which we have one launching on Saturday. And you'll get a real sense every week of some different aspect that you can learn about. You can invite your guests there. Customers appreciate it. So that's a great tool. Then, of course, we have this Thursday nights, generally hosted by Fred, where he's interviewing leaders, like we got to hear from him tonight. It's really moving, helps you get that vision and see what's possible. Then on Saturdays, we have a new distributor training every Saturday, 10 a.m., that's Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. And you're going to learn a different nuance, a different aspect that you can focus on to help you build your business, to stay motivated, to stay connected. It's a wonderful system. And then our master distributor does a live stream on Mondays, Millionaires in Training. You're not paying for this training that is worth a fortune. It's worth $1 million, certainly. Brilliant little adages and quotes and things that I've got journals full of notes of what I've learned from these people. We don't do this by ourselves. And I know for myself, that is why I succeeded. So I encourage you, please get back to the person who invited you to this call. Ask them about the July 20th Summer Summit, or look it up yourself at zijaevents.com. ZijaEvents.com, and see if you might happen to be near one of the 11 cities across the country where we will be introducing these new products this Saturday. And with that, folks, I want to say thank you so much to our guests for joining us and learning a little bit about us. I want to thank especially our guest, Fred Holmes. Thank you for the mentorship you've given all of us for so many years and for taking time out of your beach to join us. With that, good evening, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and thanks so much for joining us. Take care, everyone.